review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's the author of the book, The Price Whisperer, no other than Mr. Per Sjofors.
Daniel, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Per. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Well, I I'm one of the world's leading experts on how you price a product or service for maximum profitability and maximum corporate growth. Um, that's the that's the short story, it's a very unique skill I've developed over the last 18 years or so. And I've written a book about the process and the how companies can go about to stop leaving money on the table.
Certainly. Mr. Per Sjofors, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world. How
Pleasure.
does the book define pricing power and why is it important?
Oh, pricing power. The term pricing power was coined by Warren Buffett around 2010 when he was interviewed by some government agency, and he said um, that the most important criterion for where you want to invest your money is whether a company has pricing power or not. And then he continued to define pricing power. And pricing power is the ability to increase prices without losing sales volume. Uh, and and if you can increase your prices without losing sales volume, your profitability will increase, and it means that you, meaning a company, has much more resource for market development, for product development, for becoming more competitive, and so forth. So um, pricing power is something that every company should have, and very few do. So uh, so that's the again that's the summary. The way to gain pricing power is to understand that everything that a company does affects its ability to price.
Certainly.
For example, if you if a company's marketing is not very good, you you can't you don't have pricing power. If the product is not really meeting the requirements of the market, you don't have pricing power. If And the same with a service, right? If the services doesn't really meet what buyers are looking for, you don't have pricing power. So pricing power is all this um, how should I say, all the aspects of a company's operation that affects a company. And I'm talking, companies from one man band to Fortune 500s. So this is this goes for every company out there in every country. So so pricing power is really important.
Certainly. So, how does the book uh, staying about pricing mistakes that business make according
Oh,
to you?
almost all companies do pricing mistakes. There are many of them. The most important pricing mistake that a company can do is not to care about pricing, to not having the right resources to deal with pricing. Because like everything in a company, it takes resource if you want to do it well. And if your whole idea of pricing is to stick your finger up in the air and guess, That doesn't take much resources, but I can guarantee that it means that the company does not have pricing power.
So, how does psychology influence pricing decisions?
Oh, pricing psychology is, everything, every purchase decision we make, every purchase decision you make, every purchase decision I make, every purchase decision among the audience is a decision that is emotional, and it's actually done by the limbic system. And once we've done our emotional decision, um, the the front lobe of the brain tries to add rationale to it, why we didn't buy X and why we didn't buy Y and why we ended up buying Z. So and that goes equally for consumer goods as it do for business to business.
So, Mr. Per, what role does customer perception play in determining the right price?
uh, it's those perceptions that drive that emotional decision, right? I mean, we can see how some business leaders who are now heavily into politics on how they alienate a very large portion of their potential buyers, and their sales are just dropping like a stone. And that's because a large portion of potential buyers has a negative opinion about that business leader and or business leaders, because they're more than one, and simply uh, have a negative perception of them as individuals and of the company that they represent, and therefore will not buy their product.
So, Mr. Per, Mr. Donald putting lots of tariff today. So, is it one of the factor that will increase the price or decrease the price?
I didn't understand. Can you repeat, please?
So, Mr. Donald Trump is putting lots of tariff everywhere. So,
Yes.
is it um, will affect the price of a company that you're setting?
Oh, definitely, because tariffs are a tax, and um, um, companies needs to increase its prices to be able to afford to pay that tax. And and um, and when you increase prices, sales volume is going to go down, and that's you know um, his whole point, that he wants those tariffs because he wants the American audience to buy more American stuff as opposed to buy imported stuff.
So, Mr. Per, what are the common pricing that you're not included to the book?
The common pricing that is not included in the book.
Yes, the
Um,
pros and cons.
well, I don't really talk much about dynamic pricing because dynamic pricing, which means that dynamic pricing means that the price changes all the time, um, based on um, the customer demand and based on inventory. And we know dynamic pricing as a yield management when it's used by airlines and by hotels. If there are lots of empty seats on that plane, prices goes down. If there are very few empty seats, prices goes up. And but yield management or dynamic pricing, there's a room for, or an application for it, but for most cases, buyers want stable prices. They, um, there's been trials with dynamic pricing in fast food to terrible results. because you're used to going to your fast food place, and your burgers and fry cost whatever they cost, and if every time you go there the prices are changing, you're going to take your business somewhere else. So
Certainly.
and I know there's some retailers who have announced that they're going to try dynamic pricing, and it's the same thing. You as a buyer, whether you're a consumer or whether or a business, you want consistency. I mean, imagine if you're a business and one of your suppliers suddenly start with dynamic pricing, and you buy something that you have to buy, and then you have to go to your boss and say, I'm sorry, but the price doubled, so what could I do? That's not
Certainly.
a that's not a conversation that many people are particularly happy to have, right?
Yes, indeed. Consistency is the key, people.
Yes, consistency, yeah, and pricing is also pricing by itself sends a message of the quality and benefit of a product or a service, and pricing or the high price is part of what makes luxury luxury.
Yes,
Because if you have a luxury, if you have a luxury handbag at $25, anybody can afford it, and it's not exclusive anymore.
certainly. So, Mr. Per, let's talk about practical application and business strategies. What industries benefit the most from pricing optimization?
I don't, I can't say that any industry benefits more than any other industry, because um, what I have seen over the years is that some industries are more sophisticated with pricing than others. Um, and one of the one of the leading or one of the industries that are less sophisticated when it comes to pricing is often the tech industry, where you think that they would be a little bit more concerned with pricing, but many in the tech industry are not. I mean, some of the largest companies, tech companies in the world, are just using cost plus for pricing, and cost plus always leave money on the table. So what I mean with cost plus is that you calculate your cost, and then on top of your cost you add a percent margin, and that could be a small margin or it could be a large margin, but um, it has nothing to do with what buyers are actually willing to pay. I again from my experience, uh, industries that I found are very sophisticated with pricing is the logistic industry. I mean, they've been doing this for a very very long time. So as an industry, I mean, shipping, they're they're really really good with pricing. And so I mean, there's not much to happen to improve there, but certainly the whole high tech industry is really poor.
So, what pricing strategies work best for subscription based businesses?
Well, I mean, the whole point with subscription is you have a relatively low entry fee, and then it goes on forever. And subscription obviously work for products or services that you use all the time. Subscription doesn't work if it's a one shot purchase, but it needs to be something that one uses all the time, and that could be a piece of software, it could be a piece of hardware. I mean, uh, like many, I subscribe to a whole slew of things from Amazon. um, Consumables that I know I'm going to buy again in 2 months or in 3 months when they run out, and they keep on sending it to me on a subscription plan, and it adds a level of convenience for me, right? So subscription is always good, but the at the same time, uh, subscription also needs to be, um, you need to be able to cancel the subscription if for whatever reason you're not going to use that product anymore, or use that service, or use that software anymore. So
Yes, indeed. So, what role does branding play in a company's ability to set premium prices?
it plays a role. Certain It really depends on, because certain industries, certain market verticals, branding is very important. I mean, if you look at the whole um, cosmetic industry, it's all about branding,
Yes.
because the I you know I have no real opinion about the benefits or differences between the various products, but um, it's branding that makes a difference. And a brand, if you really think about it, a brand is a promise of consistency and consistency and benefits. So if there's something where maybe the benefits are hard to discover, um, when switching between different products from different manufacturers, branding becomes really, really crucial.
So, Mr. Per, how can businesses use discounts effectively without devaluing their products?
Discounts. Well, discounts should never be used across the board.
Yes.
Discounts should be used should be used surgically to drive buyers to more profitable product or services. And one mistake that so many companies do is to be forced into quarterly discounts or yearly discounts, just to meet artificial sales targets. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of phone calls with clients. This is a long time ago, but phone calls with clients in April, where I've been told, yes, we are going to buy this product of yours, but we're going to buy it the last week of June because you're going to give us a higher discount, right? So that just destroys um, profits, right? And 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 many companies, a couple of weeks prior to Black Friday, increases their prices so that when Black Friday comes along, they can give deep discounts without losing money.
That's the secret. So
Yeah.
you're
So
not advising to do discount to any products.
well, in general, discounts well, first of all, if you have a business, there's certain businesses that can run on discounts.
Hmm.
They they appeal to a certain uh, type of customers who are driven by discounts, driven by low prices, and really don't care much about the product they're buying or the services they're buying. And and if that's your business, then you have to continue doing discounting all the time. But for for other companies, consistent discounting discounting that goes on forever eventually destroys the brand value, um, because again, because the disc every time you discount, that brand that you have are being gets a little knock, you know, in the wrong direction. So so if you discount too much, I mean, look at Apple. They don't
Yes.
discount,
Yes.
right?
They have
And
consistency.
what they do instead, which is a much better way of doing it, is that you give bundles. You know,
Yes. True.
buy this iPad Pro and get a couple of free headphones. That
Certainly.
that is not something that affects the brand value.
So, what are the long term benefits of having a well structured pricing model?
Oh, a company with a well-structured pricing model will elevate itself to the next level.
Certainly, like
They're
Apple.
gonna double in size, triple in size, 10x their size. Um, um, the shareholder value is gonna double, triple, quadruple, or more. So the it's very very beneficial.
So, Mr. Per, what will be your short term and long term goals in writing?
My
Short term and long term goals in writing.
Well, the reason I wrote this book, and I'm working on a second edition, is that um, pricing is something that um, that many business leaders don't understand, and part of it is because there's something called the four P's of marketing, and pricing is one of those four P's. The others are product, place, and promotion. And when I did my MBA, 3 years, and pricing was, a couple of hours on a Tuesday afternoon. And pricing has the highest leverage on profitability of everything you can do in a company.
Yes.
So it's pricing is to a very large extent ignored by too many companies. And my I wanted to write the book. Well, I wrote the book as a wake up call, and
Yes.
to say that you, meaning your company, can take care of or take control over your own pricing. You don't
S-
have to have the market decide your pricing. You don't have to have competition decide your pricing. You can be in control of your pricing, and and when a company that understands how, and I said that everything you do, which is that holistic approach, everything you do in a company affects the ability to price. So once you know how all of that everything affects the ability to price and you act accordingly, um, uh, any company will just take off.
Yes. So, Mr. Per, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season. People, fifth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. So please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letter senders all over the world. So please do listen, Food 101, wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Per, what are some key takeaways from the Price Whisperer that businesses can apply immediately?
Immediately is that um, is that again really that a company can take control over its pricing, that that the there's a process to use pricing as a profit and a growth lever and that process is outlined in the book, and and that almost any company can do pricing better, and almost any company can use pricing to elevate itself to the next level.
Certainly. Mr. Per Sjofors, thank you so much for sharing the Price Whisperer to the world, and we are looking forward for the next book. And I'm inviting you again to come back and let's talk about it. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your book?
Yes, absolutely. I hope you found this some interest and uh, buy the book. It's on Amazon, hard copy, Kindle, and Audible. And it's going to be a wake up call for any business leader to understand how you can actually drive your company forward with pricing.
Yes, indeed. People that support Mr. Per, because if you support him, more and more empowering books to come like this.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Per, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And it was a pleasure to be on the show.
More to come, people. See you soon.